From the Ron Miller Race Car Studio, this is the Hammer Down Racing Report. And now your hosts, Scott Hammer and Ron Miller.
Welcome, race fans, to the Hammer Down Racing Report. These headphones sound really good compared to these earbuds I used to. Yeah.
Oh.
Wow. Liking that. Show number 107, coming at you live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, Periscope, November 7th, Thursday night. Welcome to our November show.
107?
Number 107.
Ooh,
on
baby.
11/7, yeah. And, after a 2-week hiatus, so I took some time to line up some things. This is our first champion show. We're going to be doing champion weeks, and this week we're doing Fremont Speedway champions. And we'll be talking to Michael Buddy Kofoid, John Ivy, and in the studio with us tonight, Shawn Valenti.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Thanks for coming in. But Buddy's over in California, so I understand him.
That's not fair.
Well, that's where he lives.
Yeah, but
I don't know if he's in there in California right now. We'll ask him when we talk to him here in a little bit, because I know he's headed to Texas this weekend to get a certain award we'll talk about.
Yeah,
a little bit later too. Yeah, a lot of news to catch up on as well over the past 2 weeks since we were off for Halloween last weekend. Somebody should probably turn off their phone. Oh, look at that! My live video starts 5 minutes ago. So.
Sure.
Make sure to like us on Facebook, follow us on Facebook, whatever you got to do, just do it. YouTube, you can follow us on there, and follow our new Twitter account, @HammerReport. And you can also listen to us on your favorite podcasting platform, including iHeartRadio, iTunes, and Google. Lots to cover on tonight's show. I mean, there's a lot. We got tracks for sale in the area.
New owners at existing tracks. Yeah.
So we got to get everybody caught up here. And also, last week's How Many, which was how many kids dressed as Spider-Man would show up at my door on Halloween night.
Yeah, the rain kind of dampened that, I think.
Well, and it was my first Halloween at this house, so I had no idea what to expect. And I had a total of 6 people total show up at my door.
Why don't we have some candy here, Scott?
But I'll tell you how many of them were dressed up as Spider-Man later on tonight.
Pretty amazing, right?
Yeah. And how many did you have show up at your house?
Same as always.
Big fat goose egg?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Tonight's How Many is based on something that's going on in the show right now, so I'm not going to state what tonight's How Many is.
Well, that's not... All right, go ahead.
But it has to do with Shawn Valenti.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So, so we'll get to that a little bit later. How about we start off with some action from the past 2 weeks, some racing action. There has been some. The World of Outlaw NASA Energy Drink Sprint Car Series were in action at Port Royal Speedway back 2 weeks ago tomorrow, Friday, October 25th. Donnie Schatz picked up his 11th win of the season. Saturday's action the following day, which would have been the 26th, was rained out. So this weekend is the World of Outlaws World Finals at the dirt track at Charlotte, and they got a tight point race going in there.
Really?
Actually, it starts tonight, as a matter of fact, through this weekend. Yeah, Schatz with his win last week, and Brad Sweet didn't do as well as he had hoped. He comes into this weekend just 8 points behind Brad Sweet.
Ooh.
In that championship point series. So exciting weekend there for those guys.
Wonder how the points pay out on that. I don't know, 2 points per spot? Or?
I'm not sure. I don't
Right,
know.
2.
But, that's going on. The World Finals at the dirt track at Charlotte tonight through Saturday. The Morton Building late models also in action, as well as dirt car big block modifieds. So
how could somebody watch those?
Well, if somebody paid me to tell people how they could watch them, I might share that.
Really?
Mm-hmm. But if you want to do a free PSA, go ahead.
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, I don't know. I'm sure there's some streaming service. Is it on MAV? It's not on MAV?
It wouldn't be live, I don't think.
Well,
you could probably go to World Racing Group, and I'm sure they'd be glad to tell you.
I'm sure there's
or somebody's carrying it.
I'm sure there's both legal and illegal ways to watch it. But right now...
Oh, yeah. Ooh, maybe.
NASCAR had some races over the past couple weeks. Todd Gilliland won at Martinsville a couple weeks ago in the Gander Outdoor Truck Series race. Their next race is this weekend, actually tomorrow night, 8:30 on FS1. Special note in there, Matt Crafton is going to be sporting an ARCA Menard Series decal to promote ARCA's first visit to Phoenix, or to the ISM Raceway, which was Phoenix,
right,
next year on the ARCA schedule. So he'll have a sticker. March 2020 is when ARCA is going to have their first race out there.
He was also in the Cup race.
At Martinsville.
Yes.
Yeah. He was substituting for, I can't remember now. I think it's
Paul Menard.
Was it Paul Menard?
Yes.
I thought it was somebody else. Maybe I'm thinking of something else. We'll get to that.
Maybe.
In Xfinity action, Christopher Bell was the winner at Texas on Saturday night. Next race for the Xfinity Series is the Desert Diamond West Valley Casino 200. That's at Phoenix or ISM Raceway. Saturday at 3:30 on NBC. Cup Series action, Martin Truex Jr. dominated at Martinsville a couple weeks ago, or a week ago Sunday, however you want to look at that, for the win. And Logano and Hamlin had a little scuffle after.
That wasn't a scuffle.
That whole thing.
I've been in scuffles, Scott, and that was not a scuffle.
Logano's tire specialist, Dave Nichols Jr., was suspended one race for grabbing Hamlin from behind and throwing him to the ground. And Hamlin made did you hear Hamlin's impression
I did.
of Logano? What did you think of it?
Pretty lame, but
it's worth playing, though, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
He would probably say, short track racing.
One more time?
One more time.
He would probably say, short track racing.
Yep, that's it. Short track racing.
I don't think it goes as well without his facial expressions with that.
Yeah.
But, so there's that. That was a couple weeks ago.
I watched it, and quite honestly, I thought it was just a racing deal.
Got some Tony Stewart comments on that coming up a little bit later on tonight.
Sean, did you see it?
Yeah, I did. Racing deal. I mean, typical Martinsville.
Somebody
pinched into the outside wall. And
yeah. And I think a car ahead of them kind of started the whole thing. So
yeah,
nobody should have been PO'd about it.
It's Martinsville. Short tracks. People get pissed off. You do too, right? You get pissed off.
Sometimes I do.
Yeah, I've seen it.
55 years in racing, Scott, and sooner or later you're going to get pissed off.
Kevin Harvick picked up the W on Sunday at Texas to put himself in the championship run at Homestead, along with Martin Truex Jr. Their next race, next Cup Series race, is the Bluegrass Vacations 500 at ISM Raceway on Sunday afternoon, 2:30 on NBC, and you can also listen to it on one of our iHeart stations, Buckeye Country 103.7. Shameless plug there.
No, that works.
So we're going to give Buddy Kofoid a call here in about 5, maybe 6 minutes.
Okay.
We'll call him about 7:15 here. So we'll run through a few of these racing news items. I got quite a list here.
All right.
Lots been going on the past couple weeks. That's what happens when we take a week off.
And it's not even a PRI show yet. Usually stuff unravels right after that.
No, we'll be here to cover that too.
Oh, yeah.
Mansfield Motor Speedway. Future is in limbo as Cody Summer announced he would not return as promoter, and the track is now up for sale. I could not find a price, though. All I could find was if you're interested, call them or something.
That racetrack, I'm pretty sure, Scott, if you got to ask, you can't afford it.
That's kind of what I thought.
Yeah.
Because he did a lot of improvements when he turned that from asphalt back to dirt,
right,
and put a lot of money into it. And weather didn't really work out for him very well for a lot of those events. So, and it was only running special events, so he only had so many to work with. But I guess, and Cody's working with Scott Bloomquist now, so.
Right, and has a vested interest in that whole program. So
is he still doing the? I know he started the Gateway.
Gateway, yeah.
I'm assuming he's still promoting that as well.
Yes,
he's a busy dude. So I mean, I can understand, but at the same time, what's gonna happen with Mansfield? You ever run Mansfield?
A couple times, yeah.
What'd you run there?
Sprint car.
Okay.
Yeah.
What'd you think of the track?
Fast. I mean, it was always a little bit rough. Rock problem.
Had you run it back? Had you run it back in the 90s?
No.
Before it went to pavement?
No. Been there and watched it quite a few times.
It was kind of a fast place.
Yeah.
Fun to race.
Yep. It always put on good racing.
Any desire to own a racetrack?
No.
Okay. Just saying. Well, if you are, check out Mansfield Motor Speedway. It's up for sale. Monster Mash at Montpelier Motor Speedway was postponed back on Saturday, October 26th, when it was supposed to be run because it was crappy. This past weekend was also crappy, so they decided they're going to schedule it for this coming Saturday, November 9th.
Which might be
cold.
I know that.
But they're going to run it
really?
in the afternoon. They had held off announcing the times.
Mm-hmm.
I'm doing this from memory because I looked it up this afternoon. I think the gates open at like 11:30 and hot laps were at 1:30, and racing was going to start right after that. So it'll be an afternoon deal.
Well, with the time change, it gets dark at 4 o'clock, Scott.
They have lights.
Yeah. When the lights go on, it gets cold, baby.
Yeah. And I think they do have a curfew there, baby, of like 11.
11 o'clock.
Yeah.
Plan on heading over there.
I would think that they would get done by 11 if they start at 1:30. So
yeah.
So a lot of
as long as the track doesn't ice over.
I have 45 there. So.
It'll be like a hangover race at Sandusky Speedway.
You're not going there with anything, are you, Sean?
Yeah, I plan on taking the truck. And
all right.
So you're not done racing for
No.
All right. We got more to talk about later then.
Give it a shot.
Clarksville Speedway in Clarksville, Tennessee sustained damage from straight line winds on Saturday, the 26th. It was a bad day for racing and racetracks. Winds flipped over the front stretch bleachers. No one was injured as the night's races had already been canceled. And one day after that happened, there was a crane there on the property flipping the bleachers back over in preparation for the following week's show. Did you see the pictures of that?
I did. It was quite the mess. But apparently they stood them back up and they were okay.
Could you imagine people sitting on there when that happened? That would
well, maybe the extra weight they wouldn't have flipped.
They're probably rethinking, why did we cancel? We could have had people sitting there holding down the bleachers. Only you would think of that. And I can't even go. We'll come back to this story because that's a sad story. We can't go right after that. We'll skip ahead here. Monster Energy rookie contender Matt Tifft suffered a seizure. This is what I was thinking. Just before first practice session on Saturday morning, I believe this was a couple weeks ago before the Martinsville race. He was taken to the hospital for a checkup. Matt Crafton replaced him
in the 31 car.
In the car at Martinsville for the weekend. It was announced on Tuesday that Tifft will be sidelined for the rest of the season. John Hunter Nemechek will replace him for the remaining races this season.
Okay.
So,
and I saw that Nemechek was in a car last week. I didn't pay much attention.
That's probably that one.
Okay.
Pocono Raceway is going to host 1,250 miles of racing as part of the track's 2020 NASCAR doubleheader weekend, June 25th through the 28th next year. It's going to be 5 races in 4 days, including the ARCA General Tire Anywhere is Possible 200 on Thursday. Friday, there's going to be Truck Series practice and qualifying, and Monster Energy Cup Series will have 2 practice sessions. On Saturday, the Xfinity Series will practice, the Cup Series will qualify, the Truck Series will hold a 150-mile race, and the Cup Series will have a 325-mile race. There will be a quiz when I'm done with this, so keep track. On Sunday, the Xfinity Series will qualify and hold a 225-mile race. The Cup Series will then have a 350-mile race. Field will be set for that with all the lead lap cars from Saturday inverted. Did you get that? You follow all that?
Yeah, sorta.
There's going to be a lot of racing that weekend at Pocono. It's part of that new doubleheader deal.
They got to make it exciting
somehow. They make things complicated. I don't know why, but they seem to make things complicated.
Scott, have you watched any races from Pocono lately?
They're not
snoozers.
Usually the most exciting. I know. All right. How about
so they're changing the format up to make it more exciting? Yeah, I wonder how that's going to work.
We'll just have more racing and more
there'll
cars.
be cars on it all weekend.
Yeah. No, it would be more exciting.
I'd like to be the fuel guy for that deal.
If they did like in road course racing where they have multiple classes race at the same time. Put the trucks, the Xfinity Series, and the Cup Series all out there at the same time. Just score all 3 separately.
No, I would watch that.
Wouldn't that be fun?
That would be cool.
And then, a truck guy might be in the way of a Cup guy, and there's going to be a truck and Cup fight after,
Ooh.
Get out of my way, you're just in the Truck Series. You don't belong out there kind of stuff.
I'm
just throwing it out there. NASCAR, if you need any more ideas, give me a call. We'll talk.
when you buy Mansfield, you can.
All right. How about we call Buddy? You want to talk about Ron Miller race cars?
Yeah, Ron Miller race cars.
Yeah, it's that place. Are you busy yet?
Enough.
Okay.
We got a car that we're putting a body on. We just got done with a roll cage and a drag car. There's plenty going and people lining up dates to bring their cars in. So Ron Miller Race Cars is doing well. 734-856-7223.
There you go. Give them a call.
Us.
Supplies, too. Parts. Equipment.
I've got my phone through Buckeye, and it's getting expensive. We might just switch to a cell phone.
Hello?
Hello?
Buddy?
Hi. How's it going?
Pretty good. Scott Hammer, Ron Miller, and Shawn Valenti in the studio with us here. How's it going?
Pretty good. How are you guys?
Pretty good. So what are you up? Are you in California right now, or are you on your way to Texas?
No, I'm in California at home.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you're headed to Texas this weekend, aren't you?
No, I'm not.
You're not?
No.
I thought you were going to go there to get this Brady Bacon Baton Award.
No, I won't be there.
Oh, well, never mind then. Let's talk about your championship season at Fremont. 2 wins and actually a really close point battle there at the end. You just won that championship by 2 points.
Yeah, no, it was definitely really close and a lot closer than I would have liked it to have been. But yeah, no, it was good to get a couple wins, and we had some podium runs and was in the top 5. It felt like quite a bit. So, and we're always pretty consistent in qualifying, and it was good in the heat races, so we were fast, kind of wherever we needed to be. It was a good battle with DJ and with Cap a little bit, and so it was definitely a lot of fun. So it's good to get my first 410 championship, and especially for the Linders and Ed, and especially the Linders all living in Fremont, and all the stuff that they've done there is pretty cool.
So was this? Have you raced at Fremont prior to this year?
Yeah, last year for the Jim Ford.
Okay.
With the Linders. Yeah.
So, but you didn't have a lot of experience in this area.
No. Last year was my first time racing in Ohio, and I did 6 races. So.
Okay.
Yeah, not a whole lot.
So, did you enjoy your time out here in Ohio?
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of fun, and I'll never forget. I made a lot of good friends and a lot of memories, and also gained a lot of experience and got a lot of exposure, which is huge in racing in general. But also, getting out of California, there's way more exposure on the Midwest, and in hopes of making it in racing. That's one of the steps, is getting out of California and trying to make a name for yourself out in the Midwest.
Now, are you going to do any racing now that you're back home?
He has been.
Yeah, I've done a couple races. Nothing. I don't. As far as sprint cars, I think I'm done for this year. I might, if I find something. I like to find something for Arizona. There's a race called the Copper Classic after Thanksgiving, which I'd like to do. I've done it before, but kind of see how that goes. Still kind of searching, but I'll be running the full Western swing for Coons for all the USAC races out here, so that'll be a lot of fun. Nothing
happening with either Gateway or the Chili Bowl?
As of right now, I'm not sure. Haven't really talked much about that, actually.
It'd be cool to see that happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess we'll have to wait and see what they say. Yeah.
So what time?
It'd be a lot of fun to do that.
When did you head back to California from this area?
I believe it was because right when I got home, I raced Trophy Cup a couple days later. So I think I got home the 14th or 15th, something like that. So
about the time it turned cold around here, right?
Yeah, it's starting to get a little cold.
You're missing.
So I kind of got out in time.
You're missing out on the snowflakes that some of the areas saw around here.
No, I wouldn't say missing out. I'm not a huge fan of snow. I mean, obviously I come from California where, we don't really get snow in most areas, and I'm a little used to the warm weather, but, I guess I don't really
You're safe from
any snow.
you're safe from the wildfires, right?
Yeah, no, it was fairly close, but, everything's all good, and I think they got all under control. And so,
good.
Yeah, it should be good. Yeah.
So, is there racing that goes on out there in California during the winter months, or is there a lot of races? What's the racing scene like out there?
What's that?
I was just asking what the racing scene's like during the winter months out in California. I know they do stuff in Arizona.
Yeah, Arizona. There's, as far as anything in December, there's no racing really that I know of in December out here. Where like Arizona ends their last races the day after Thanksgiving or 2 days after Thanksgiving. So, but then for California, it's probably there's a sprint car race this weekend. So, and I think that's the last wing sprint car race in California. So, all the way up until mid-November is kind of when the sprint car stuff ends out here.
So you're gonna be you got more races coming up here then?
Yep. As of right now, nothing sprint car, but I'll do. Let's see. I believe there's 6 midget races out here that USAC does. So,
okay.
Be able to do that for Keith Coons, which should be a lot of fun.
What about iRacing? Do you get into that at all? I know there was a big deal on TV a couple of weeks ago about a teenager that won a boatload of money racing on a computer.
Yeah. So I personally don't have iRacing for myself, but I live with Mike and Stephanie Linder, so Michael's kind of built this little setup, and he has iRacing. So kind of my free time here and there, I would get on actually and just kind of mess around with some people that I knew, and do some sprint car stuff or midget stuff or whatever it was, and I did it a decent amount this year. When I lived with Michael and Stephanie.
How accurate is that? I've never played that. I'm familiar with it, but I've never actually played that. How accurate is that to the feel of a real race car?
To me, it is fairly accurate. Now, like racing sprint cars, and then kind of going back to that, it's at first it's kind of hard to get used to, and you actually kind of had to learn it a little bit because obviously it's not going to be exact, but it's pretty close, and how the track wears out and builds the grooves is actually really cool. But as far as the details, they look like what it would look like for a sprint car or midget or whatever, and the feel for the most part does feel fairly similar.
I might have to check this out. I don't think I can afford it though. I got to put all my money in my real car. Let's talk about.
Yeah, no, it definitely is expensive. It is fun. So.
Let's talk about this point, or your actually. Let's talk about your 2019 season in general. Everything you accomplished this year. You're the champion, obviously, at Fremont Speedway. 2 wins there. You finished 4th in the points at Attica, 2nd in the Attica Fremont Championship Series. 17 years old. It looks to me like you got a pretty bright future. What are you thinking?
No, first of all, no, thank you. I appreciate that. The season as a whole was pretty good. Like I said, being out there, I got a lot of exposure and got to see new things. Race in new places with really good people, and I think that kind of helped me become a better driver. And now I would have liked to win all 3, and we had some bad luck or stuff happen, or that kind of hindered that, but we gave it our best shot. We were, I wouldn't say really close, but we were there in contention where we could have done it. But yeah, no, it's just fun. Like racing at the Outlaws, we had a lot of success when we could run at the All Stars. I think we were 3rd in Speed Week points, which was really cool. And after even DNFing a night, so we were fast, kind of whenever the All Stars came to town. So that felt really good. And just getting to kind of move around when we could. I enjoy that. So as a whole, it was a lot of fun, and time I'll never forget.
I know it's early, but how's 2020 shaping up?
We'll see. I am still working on some stuff, and I'm looking forward to it. It should be fun. Hopefully we can get back out to the Midwest again and be able to do more stuff and race quite a bit. So, looking forward to it.
That's a very politically correct answer there. I like that.
It's about as non-committal as you can get, buddy.
I know that when we had you in the studio last year, Ron was real impressed with how you carried yourself and how you represented yourself, and you weren't not some cocky kid. You're very humble, and I'm sure that goes a long way to impress people as well.
I appreciate that. And, I try to just stay humble and just, I don't want to say keep it real, but just be just positive and just is what it is. So hopefully in the future I could try and get back up to you guys' studio one day.
So I know Ron asked you about next year, and you were pretty non-committal. Is there a possibility you could be running one of these series you were talking about, like the All-Stars or World of Outlaws, or would it maybe just be hitting a few of those shows here and there?
Honestly, I can't give you a clear answer. I'm not sure yet. I'm still figuring some stuff out, and that would obviously, I'd love to be able to do something like that, or run maybe even a true outlaw schedule, or even be able to run different cars, whenever I can would be really cool.
Didn't you say?
Actually, what's that?
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say it just depends what I guess what comes up or what happens these next month or two. And maybe what works best for me, or whatever the best situation is.
Now, are you done with high school then? Is that even an issue anymore?
I'm still a senior, so
okay.
I'll be done late May or maybe June. So
that
coming up pretty close.
Won't be an issue too much for the racing season.
No.
I'm sure you'll find ways around it, even if there were. When we had you in here last year, I'm trying to remember, did you say, looking into the future, you'd like to be in NASCAR? Was that it, or was it?
Yeah,
okay.
I'd love to make it to Cup. That's been a goal and I guess a dream of mine for a long time. But the last few years, I've become pretty fond of Formula One. So
okay.
Now that would be really cool to be able to do something like that. But the path I'm trying to take and kind of what I'm already taking, Formula One's on a different level and a completely different path. So, but yeah, I've always wanted to race in NASCAR.
Okay, well maybe the phone will ring next year or in the next couple months, and hey, I got a car for you to drive.
Yeah, we'll see. That'd be really cool. But.
All right. Well, I saw that you had some merchandise for sale. You want to promote your merchandise or anything else since we got you on?
Yeah, so we just came out with kind of my own personal line of merchandise. So, we got quite a bit of shirts and long sleeves and, a couple of different beanies and hats and sweatshirts. So kind of got a different variety of things, which should be really cool. And, thank you to Stephanie Linder for, taking care of that for me and helping me out with that. So,
where can people?
Yeah, it should be.
Where can people find
that?
Where can people?
BuddyKofoid.com.
Okay.
Or she'll have stuff on Facebook, and I'll have some stuff on Facebook or Twitter. For Stephanie Linder or under me, Buddy Kofoid or Michael Kofoid. So, it should be links everywhere, and the email should be attached to that, or even on the website. So, yeah. Hopefully you guys like it, and should all be there. And actually, I think she just got the shipment the other day, so still pretty fresh.
Well, we hope to see you back in the area sometime, hopefully next year, and we wish you the best luck. I do have one last question, though, to ask you, because I'm going to ask, we have all the Fremont Speedway 2019 champions on the show tonight, and I'm going to ask everybody this question. So I'm going to ask it to you first. So Shawn's going to have some time to think about it, and I think John was listening, so he may listen. If you, Shawn Valenti, and John Ivy, all the champions of Fremont Speedway, were in equally prepared minivans, who would win that race?
That's asking you the question?
I'm asking you that question, yeah. You, Shawn Valenti, and John Ivy.
Well, I don't. I mean, I guess I would like to think that I could win.
Okay.
I mean, being mathematical that I guess I'm the lightest. I mean, I guess if we got equal vans, I don't know. I guess if we'd have to show 3 wide, so that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Make it really fair.
You'd be willing to start on the outside?
Oh, well, I mean, I'd like to start on the inside. That'd be the best place for a minivan, I guess. But,
well, I didn't say it was a road or an oval or a road course. It could be either. It was.
Oh, drag race. I don't know. Maybe.
there you go.
Maybe I'll just let some fuel in the tank to make it even lighter, or make some more fuel and get it to drive farther. No. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I would like to say me. I'm sure they'll, all say themselves. I guess that's just the race car driver in us. But
I'll see if I can make that race happen next year.
Then. Yeah, I'll have to test that theory.
All right.
If it's a manual, I'm going to have to practice shifting too.
We'll see if we can get Ron Miller race cars to equally prepare.
Yeah. All right, buddy.
Yeah,
good luck
cool.
In everything. And again, we appreciate the time.
No, well, thanks, guys. I appreciate having me on, and hopefully I can get back in town sometime and talk to you guys in the studio.
Like to have you back in the studio.
Well, thank you. Well, I appreciate it, guys.
All right. We'll talk to you later, buddy.
Yep.
Bye. Buddy Kofoid, their 2019 Fremont Speedway 410 Sprint Car champion by 2 points over DJ Foose. Next up, we're going to give John Ivy a call here.
Really?
Who is your Fremont Speedway 2019 305 Sprint Car champion. You've raced some races against him.
Yeah.
We'll be talking about that, too. So you might have some more insight into who's going to win that minivan race.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard to say.
Minivans are front-wheel drive. That'd be a different animal.
Yeah. On pavement, even.
Hello.
Hi, is this John?
Yep.
John Ivy. It's Scott Hammer, Ron Miller, and Shawn Valenti in here in the studio with us. How's it going?
How we doing? Good. Yourselves?
Pretty good. First off, I want to say congratulations for the championship there in 305s. How many championships do you have now?
I believe that was 7.
7, okay. So you can still count them on hands. You're not to your toes yet.
Not yet.
So how would you rate yourself, or grade yourself, I suppose, on your accomplishments this season, which obviously include the championship at Fremont with 4 wins, finished 3rd in the points at Attica and 2nd in the 305 Attica Fremont Championship Series points?
Well, you always want to be better, but I mean, going to get 6 wins in a year, that's quite a bit. I mean, that's what you go to the racetrack for, right?
Yeah. So we'd say maybe a B plus, A minus.
I'll go with a B. Yeah.
Okay. Man, you're a tough grader there.
Yeah.
Glad you're not my teacher.
Anything stand out that you'll remember most about this past year?
No, probably just in general, everything went well for us. We was usually up front. We only had one DNF. And said races are won in the shop. So I try and pride myself with when you get to the racetrack, you don't have problems.
Okay. How excited were you about Dwayne Hancock's Attica Fremont Championship Series being part of the deal this year with Attica and Fremont?
That definitely helped. I mean, he busted his butt. I went to the Chili Bowl with him every year, and he was all wound up the whole time we was out there. So I don't know how much I knew before anybody else did, but, I mean, I was excited for it. It always helps us 305 guys out that when something like that goes on for us. I mean, usually it's always for the 410 guys, but then when it happens for us, it helps us out immensely,
Mm-hmm. Now, do you run your own 305, or does somebody else own that?
Somebody else owns it, but like I said, we keep it at the shop over here, and I do all the work and maintenance on it. So, I mean, I'm not going to say it's mine, but...
Well, you know, possession is like 9/10 of the law, isn't it?
Right, yeah. I don't just show up and drive, no.
So the big car season's over. What's the go-kart season look like?
I think we go to Columbus next weekend. Just finishing up getting all the big cars out of the shop so we can get all the 600 stuff in there and get ready for Fort Wayne.
Oh, yeah.
That's sneaking up on us here, before we know it. We always like to wait to the last minute anyhow. That way it keeps you on our toes, you know.
Did you get to kiss a cow this year?
No, it got rained out this year.
Oh, darn.
Now, which race was that? I remember you were in here, we talked about it, and I got it wrong when I posted a picture on Facebook.
The fair race that they have there during the fair.
That's right.
Dusty County Fair.
Okay. Yeah, because I messed that up. I was thinking it was the Clyde go-kart race, I think.
No.
My bad.
Yeah, you'll have that.
So is there anything that you don't race? Go-karts, 305s? I mean,
yeah,
anything?
Whatever. I'd race a wheelbarrow if somebody pushed me.
Yeah, I guess you would have to have a pusher. How would you steer that, though?
I don't know. I guess he'd have to be the steerer, too, then, huh? I can fake it.
So, how many go-kart races you got scheduled during the off-season here? You got Columbus, the Rumble, and Fort Wayne. What else you got going on?
I won't run a go-kart there. I'll just run the 600 stuff at Fort Wayne. Last time I ran a go-kart there, I busted myself up pretty good. And I'm not getting any younger, so I just stay away from them things there. I think we got 2 shows at Columbus, and then I don't know if we got I think there's maybe one at Marion also. So I'm hoping, 3 or 4.
Okay.
And in the midget?
The micros will run, the Fort Wayne deal will be the non-wing and the wing cars. I'll run both of them Friday night and both of them Saturday night. So I guess you could say 4 races.
Same car, just wing on, wing off, or 2 separate cars?
No, you got to have you got to have 2 different cars.
All right.
They have a dirt class, they call it, and the way the rules are and everything, it's totally different than what the wing cars are. So you have to have 2.
All right.
What about Chili Bowl?
We're going out and watch.
Just watching? Okay.
Racing. No, that's on vacation, heck of a vacation, ain't it, to go watch racing, but we've been doing that now for, I don't know, quite a while.
I'm pretty sure that's how most racers spend their vacation is watching races, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what else you going to do?
So what's in the cards for 2020? Are we going to see you back in 305 at Attica and Fremont again, or?
Not sure what we're doing quite yet here. That's probably a possibility, but we're kind of looking forward, trying to move up and do a 410 deal next year. I know I'm not getting any younger, and I said I wanted to try it once again. So we're trying to work towards that, but if something doesn't happen, then we're probably just going to run 305s again. But the main focus is trying to get a 410.
And just running Fremont and Attica, or would you try and venture out with any of the series or anything?
We'll focus on the Fremont and Attica and the AFCS deal. But then if things work out and we can go do something else, we'll go somewhere else. So, me, I like to go race anywhere. I mean, we snuck down to Waynesfield there the last race of the year there and took our 305 in the non-wing deal and run against the 410s down there and had a pretty good time. So anytime I can go race, I'll go anywhere.
What about if you do get a 410 deal set up, would you ever think about doing double duty, running the 410 and the 305?
I've done it before, but if we do our own 410 deal, we're going to focus on a 410. I'm not going to. I mean, if somebody would ask me to drive their race car, maybe I would. But to take 2 race cars to the racetrack, I wouldn't want to do it every night. We did that earlier this year too. We went up to Michigan, run the 360, and they had a non-wing deal up there, and we took both cars up there, and it was interesting at first, But then once we got going, it wasn't too bad. But to do it every weekend and every Friday and Saturday, I don't know if I'd want to do that.
Now, Shawn here, he was doing some double duty. Did you do double duty the entire season at Fremont?
Yeah,
with the 305 in the truck?
Yeah.
Would you do that again?
Yeah. But if it, like John says, if it's two separate teams, it's not so bad. But when you're trying to do two cars out of the same trailer or something, it makes it no fun.
Okay. We asked Buddy Kofoid this earlier, John, and I'm going to ask you. In a race of equally prepared minivans, who would be the winner? You, Shawn, or Buddy?
Well, I'm going to go with me because I'm the oldest, and I've got all kinds of minivan seat time. So I don't know if that really means anything or not, but I'm just throwing that out there.
Buddy said he had the weight advantage, though. Do you think?
And that's probably a really good question there. But these have fenders on them too, so we might be able to keep him in check.
So you're not afraid to use the fenders, is what you're saying?
Well, if you have to, you have to.
Yep. All right, I like that.
It all being good fun, though.
Of course.
Then maybe we go get some groceries in a minute.
Who'd be fastest getting all the groceries?
Right? Yeah, that's where it really come into play, huh?
Maybe they'd have to jump out and throw a couple of bags of groceries in the back, get back in, and buckle up.
I like this.
Yeah.
All right, we're making a new event next year at Fremont. Hopefully they're listening. And instead of kissing a cow, we'll have to come up with something else for the winner to have to do. I'm not sure what.
There you go.
We'll work.
Get up on the roof or something.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Ivy. Well, good luck in whatever you got going on in 2020. Either way, we'll see you in the area here racing Fremont Attica, and looking forward to it. And we wish you continued success.
All right. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. All right, John. Take care.
See you guys later. Yep. Bye-bye.
John Ivy, your 305 Fremont Speedway champion.
Yeah.
I like him. He's funny.
Yeah, he's usually a good time.
And that leaves us with Shawn Valenti, who, as we mentioned, we're doing double duty running the 305, and you actually did not too bad there. Where'd you finish? 11th in 11th in AFCS 305 points, 11th at Attica, and 4th in the 305s at Fremont.
Yeah, just...
So that's not bad, especially when you got the Dirt Truck Championship with 7 wins, too.
Yeah. I think we ended up with, 9 truck wins at Fremont.
Was it 9?
Yeah, they don't think they had the last 2 on there, but so Jim Ford weekend.
In the points, though, at least.
Yeah.
Point-wise.
Yeah, it was an awesome year. Can't complain one bit about it. I think worst finish was 15th with it, and we ended up getting caught up in a little scuffle down the front stretch and had to go back to the tail, and it was late in the race. And but yeah, other than that, I think we had a couple fifths and a third, and the rest were wins. So hats off to Babcock for awesome truck. And anytime I get in that thing, it's usually set on go. So it's just a matter of putting in the right spots and having things go my way.
Who you driving for in the 305?
It's GMS Motorsports. But the same thing with like John. I keep the stuff out at my shop and
Get possession.
Yeah. Work on everything, and so basically maintain it, and so yeah, it keeps me busy throughout the week.
I was gonna say 2 cars. Do you have help?
Yeah. With the truck side of it, we like I say, Jeff Babcock, awesome to drive for, and then I got Jeff Reel on that helps me on the sprint car throughout the week, and without countless other guys. Got Rick Eberly helps out too, and without them guys, the cars wouldn't make it to the racetrack. So
the truck stays at your place too?
No, it stays at
Babcock's.
Yep, stays at Jeff's house.
So how much of a grind is it during race night to be doing bleh. I can't even
double duty?
Doing double duty. Say that 10 times fast.
It gets a little hectic.
Have you ever had any issues where you had a race back to back?
Yeah, and just got to go let the guys know at the front gate, hey, I'm going to be jumping into from the truck to the sprint car, or vice versa. And
they cut you a little break.
Yeah, they drag their feet on getting the cars out there a little bit. So, but yeah, that's the worst part when the races are back to back. It just the you're trying to adjust from one car and getting into the other, and then just remembering which one you're in.
I was going to ask you ever forget which car you're in and try and drive it like the other one?
Usually once you push off, it's or take off,
you can figure it out pretty quick. Yeah.
With the truck series, I think I remember seeing some pretty good fields of cars most of the time this year.
Yeah, the truck counts were back up. It was close to the 30s, so it was B mains pretty much every night.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, and heat races were tough. There's a couple times where I was wondering if I was going to make it out of the heat race, and I don't know if I had to run a B main last year or not, but yeah, the field of trucks is getting up there, and it's competitive. All these guys are getting faster and faster every year, and
well, you're still going fast too, so obviously you're going faster.
But they're catching up.
I understand they did a pretty admirable job of tech inspecting this year.
Yeah, they got a tech inspector in there, and a lot of guys were complaining about my truck, and
what were they complaining about?
Just
he's winning. He's got to be cheating.
What were you doing? What were they accusing you of doing?
Shock packages, and I'm not really sure. They were just trying to get some rules changed that they thought that I had, and I don't know. It was they ended up having a couple meetings about it, and they adjusted the rules on some of the stuff, but. And like I said, they brought a tech inspector to make sure everybody was following the rules and make sure people were running 4 barrels and stuff. That was the biggest thing I heard on a lot of it was I had a 4 barrel on most of the time and don't even own one. So
so there was no rule infractions or anything. They never found anything.
No.
I should say you didn't cheat.
Right.
I shouldn't say they never found anything. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So your championship is. Totally
untarnished.
Yep. And you got quite a few championships. You won, you got the Sprints on Dirt championship?
I finished second in that last year. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
I thought you got, maybe you just had some wins. Maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, I had 3 wins last year at the Sprints on Dirt. And the truck, I think this is my second truck championship. I think 2014 was the other one. And won some championships at the stock car at Lima and Waynesfield. So I think this is about my 6th championship.
Getting up there with John.
Yeah.
Same question that we ask the other guys. What's 2020 look like?
It'll probably be mostly the same. I got a 305 motor this year and ran that deal this year. Ended up had a 410 motor that needed some work, and rather than getting that done, we kind of decided we was going to run a year with the 305s, and so next year will probably be hopefully I can get a 410 motor freshened back up and run some 410 races, 305 races, and we'll be back in the truck full time again.
So
that's a whole lot more committal than we got out of the other two guys.
I'm going to be racing everything next year.
Yeah. Same way with John. Them if it's got wheels and it's got an open seat.
No thoughts of running 410, 305, and truck all the same night?
Probably not. No.
Oh yeah, I couldn't imagine.
Unless I can find a couple more crew guys.
I couldn't imagine. Yeah.
Adam Jones says you're also a UMP division champion in a modified.
Yeah, I won Ohio region in that. I think back in 2015. So
is there anything you haven't driven yet? A minivan, possibly?
A minivan, yeah. I haven't gotten a minivan. Got to race late model a couple times. Full season in a modified. Pretty much everything on dirt other than a midget. And
let me ask you this way: is there anything you haven't won in?
Haven't won in a late model.
Okay.
Like I said, I think I only ran one time, and that was a best performance car. So it was a nice piece of equipment.
Oh,
but
yeah.
It was a last minute deal where I was running a car in case they needed it, and made the feature and everything, was running good. But before I made junk of it or destroyed it, I dropped out.
Speaking of late models in Fremont, do you think the fact that they dropped the crate late model series or division there helped? Did any of those drivers come over to the trucks then, or?
I don't think so. Just because none of them that ran that. I mean,
okay.
Brooks, obviously ran the late models, and then Babcock put him in a second truck this year. So really, I don't think so. Other than them guys had to go find either their cars are sitting or Chester made his into a sportsman to run Oakshade, but
went upside down.
Yeah. So I'm not sure, what happened to them cars, or if they're just waiting to see if Fremont will ever do anything with them again or not.
Well, we talked to some guys up in Michigan. They're putting together a traveling series, Great Lakes Crate Series. I think what it's called. Yeah. So and I saw a post from them just the other day where they've got a couple of tracks nailed down.
Okay.
In Michigan, I think. But anyways, do you have a preference as far as any of these cars you've raced? Is it one more fun than the other, or they're just all?
They're all fun, especially the truck when you're winning, obviously, and then the sprint cars, just the speed of them, reaction time, and just how fast they go. But no preference, and they're all fun.
What about between Attica or Fremont? Do you have a preference to those tracks?
I struggle at Attica for some reason. I'm not sure what it is. I don't know if it's just because there ain't a wall all the way around it or what, but
I can relate to that.
And it's hard to see. I got to be fast in a sprint car. You got to be right against the top of 3 and 4, and it's hard to judge that line on either being off of it or on it. And struggled last year with the clay that they had on. It was just a sifty deal, and we struggled a little bit there. But Fremont, with the wins I got there and the amount of laps I got there, I'd say that'd be my favorite.
Well, yeah.
Attica's added a whole lot of new clays. Do you think that's going to change things?
Yeah, I think so. It looks like hopefully the stuff they're bringing in is better than what they had last year, and they do an excellent job as far as the smoothness of the racetrack.
They do.
And even with what they had to deal with last year, they knew the dirt wasn't that good, and they brought, they were already saying that we know we got an issue, but we just got to make it through this year, and we'll make it better. So, looking forward to being back to Attica and Fremont and seeing what we can do.
So, you're going to defend that truck championship next year in Fremont?
I'd say at this point, yeah, we'll be back to pretty much every
much
Fremont
to the
show.
chagrin of all the other.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch, Shawn's back.
Last couple of years with running the side deal and the sprint car stuff, with traveling a little bit, I missed a few shows here and there. So point wise, it hurt us, but was still able to be competitive when we was there. And so I think we'll be back next year and try it again.
So what's your take on this minivan race between you, John, and Buddy?
Ivy's got some fender experience, so but I'd like to say with being a full-size vehicle and the
trucks have fenders.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. Ivy, he ran trucks there for a couple of years, and but Buddy, he's in the sprint car deal, and this thing's gonna be slow. So I think I'd like to say I'd win it.
All right.
He may practice though on iRacing in a minivan.
Yeah. They better get developing it.
All right, Shawn. Well, good luck next year in racing everything.
Thanks,
pretty
guys.
much what it sounds like.
Yeah, whatever I can find an open seat in.
Now, if you're running a particular class or anything and you're not having success in it, would you consider saying, all right, I'm just going to step back and focus on the truck or the 305, assuming it was like the 410? I'm not saying that that's going to happen.
Yeah. No. Just as long as the opportunities are there to keep on trying, and
you're just the attitude, I want to race as much as I can.
Yeah, and Attica and Fremont's a tough deal. Locals are tough. It don't matter what division it is, 410s, 305s, and I feel I'm competitive with them, and if I can keep being there and having the opportunities to do it, I'm either going to figure it out or something will have to change, but it ain't going to be because of the lack of trying.
All right. Well, what do you got going on during the off season? You doing any indoor racing? Or
just ran the Big B go-kart race last weekend. I didn't make it out of the B main, but then this coming weekend we're going to Mount Pelier and run with the Super Streets. Actually took the truck there last year and picked up a victory against them. So
did you?
Yeah.
I ran there once, like 4 or 5 years ago, and
it's been a while.
Ripped up the side of my car pretty bad.
Yeah,
it was a fun little track though.
Yep. And then my boy races go karts too, so we'll hit a couple indoor shows and we'll stay busy doing something.
I think I saw Rusty Schlank's race. Didn't he reschedule that?
I think it's for Saturday. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Check out Rusty Schlenk, or was it RSR Karting Club on Facebook for that information, because that got rained out
a couple Sundays ago.
Yeah, that last Sunday in October. So let's hit a few other news things, because there was a lot of stuff here. We still have that Tony Stewart stuff.
Okay.
His opinions on the fighting in NASCAR.
Anything Tony has to say is worth listening to.
But before we do that, because we were laughing and I couldn't go into this next story about Keith Jacobs, a competitor in the 604 late model division at 311 Motor Speedway in North Carolina. He died during the feature on Friday, the 25th of October, so this would have been 2 weeks tomorrow. It was believed he suffered a medical emergency. He hit the wall and went airborne. Track owner Mike Fulp said witnesses saw Jacobs slumped over in his car moments before he crashed head-on into the wall. So
yeah. Not a
so
good
it doesn't
thing.
sound like the wall is what may have. Well, I mean, it probably didn't help, but he was having an issue before then. Also, we'll do the two sad stories close together here. 1991 USAC Midget National Champion Mike Stryker. Is that how you
Mike
pronounce it?
Stryker.
He passed away yesterday morning after an apparent heart attack.
62 years old, Scott.
Professor down there at UNOH.
And a really great guy. Great family. They were instrumental in bringing Jeff Gordon to this area back in the early 90s in a sprint car.
Okay. At the National Racing Alliance, the NRA Series banquet, series owner Ron Hammonds announced that he sold the series to Thunder Motorsports 2. Thunder Motorsports is a group of investors, including Ed Kennedy, who owns Plymouth Speedway in Plymouth, Indiana. Our buddy Dave Mazzillo over there at Bear Field is confirmed to be the series director and overseeing the series. The series has 9 races scheduled in 2020, including Limaland, Fremont, Montpelier, and Gas City.
Wait a minute. Dave Mazzillo's having something to do with the dirt track?
Yeah, that's kind of why I was like,
Yeah, he was saying that they were planting grass on the racetrack down there.
Well, they had one sprint car race.
Yeah.
Did they run that?
Yeah, I ended up winning it.
What, you did?
Yeah.
Oh, by the way,
Yeah.
I won that, by the way.
Yeah, won a stock car race there too with the truck. So
this year?
No, back when
they were running a few
dirt
races.
deal.
So it was this past September, right? That they had the sprint car deal?
No, the Bearfield. I think it was.
Or was that last year?
No, I'm pretty
it would
sure.
have been 2 years ago.
I'm pretty sure they planted grass on it.
Yeah.
All right. I'm
2 years ago.
I'm behind. Board of directors of Holman and Company announced the Penske Entertainment has entered into an agreement to purchase the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, the NTT IndyCar Series, and IMS Productions. Penske Entertainment is a subsidiary of Penske Corporation, which is owned by Roger Penske. So, what is your take on that? Him taking over IndyCar? I mean, other than you don't care.
Yeah, largely. That's the way I am with that. IndyCars at Indy, that's a big deal, and I don't know. I just don't follow them that much.
Is it weird though
than the Indianapolis 500?
It's weird though that a series. I mean, I don't know all the details of this and how much separation there is. I did see.
Well, didn't the Holman family have something to do with IndyCar several years ago?
Not sure.
I don't know.
I think they did.
But as a car owner owning the series, I would think that'd be a conflict of interest. But I did read something where he was taking some action. I don't know what it was. I didn't read into it, but taking some actions to avoid the conflict of interest. I mean, it would be like Hendrick buying NASCAR.
Right.
I mean, it just, I don't know. It's just, I mean, maybe it's a good thing. I don't know. I don't know if it's
I
a good
don't
thing or
know.
a bad
Tony
thing.
Stewart does quite well racing in the All-Stars, and he owns
that's true, and he owns that, yeah.
Yeah, he owns that deal. So
Didn't think of
really,
that. So maybe-
really not much different.
Okay.
And he seems to keep his interests separated. So yeah, I think Penske is going to. I think Penske's going to do a great job.
I suppose if there was somebody to own it, Penske would be a good person to do it.
Yeah,
he's got a lot of experience there. Tony Stewart, speaking of which,
Really?
Yeah, good transition there. He took a two-seater a cup car around Circuit of the Americas.
Oh, yeah?
Before the F1 race out there this past weekend. He said after running the track, it was like a 2-seater car. It was like a demonstration deal. He did say a stock car race at that track would work.
Really?
Very well, yes. And that wasn't all he said.
Tony's never short for words.
No, he also said about the promoters, because the Texas race for NASCAR was that weekend, and
Right.
Formula One was there in Texas, both competing at the same time. So Tony said that I think it's asinine. I think there are 2 promoters who have their heads up their asses to book it that way. Why would you not take the opportunity to book them on separate weekends and have the opportunity to have people stay for a week and enjoy 2 totally different forms of major motorsports?
And spend money while you're in the area. Oh, my.
So he wasn't siding with Texas or Circuit of the Americas or Formula One or NASCAR or whoever, booked those dates or is in charge of that. But just saying, it's just stupid. And it is.
He's right.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah. And speaking of Tony Stewart and comments about fighting, he also had this to say. You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay.
It frustrates the crap out of me. I can't stand watching these guys. I'm watching Joey Logano with his hand on his crew guy in front of him so he can act like he's swinging back here. I'm like, for God's sake, guys, this is getting embarrassing. I tell you what, just line both of them up. I'll whip their ass by myself together. I don't care. I'll take them both on.
It's not even exciting to watch. It's like, somebody do something for the love of God. Don't walk up there and push him. Oh, you made me mad. God,
Well,
if you're going to take the effort to go up there, by God, here's the best thing you can do. If you want somebody to understand that you don't want them to do something, don't even say anything. Just walk up there and knock the shit down of them. One time. All you have to do it is one time, and they won't ever do it again. They'll never do it.
Have you ever done that? Either
What?
of you two?
No.
What?
No?
What?
So is that a yes?
Rusty Schlink's not listening, is he?
Did you beat up Rusty?
No.
Or are you implying that he... Yeah, I know what you're saying. All right. One last thing here. The ARCA Menards Series East schedule. The ARCA Series has... NASCAR's taken over and kind of rearranged things. There's the main ARCA Menards Series, and then now the K&N East and West Series are now the ARCA Menards East and West Series. So there's those 3 series, but they're all the same rules. And the ARCA Menards Big Series announced the 2020 season and did not include Toledo on there. But, and here's the big but, the East Series, the ARCA Menards Series East, I guess we're going to put the East after the series, they released their schedule yesterday.
And lo and behold,
Toledo Speedway is in the familiar mid-May slot that used to be in the regular ARCA Menards Series. So Saturday, May 16th, 2020, will be the ARCA Menards Series East race.
I wonder how the rules packages, if they're...
I think they all line up now between the
think?
series, yeah. I'm
Okay.
pretty sure. Because I think at the end... We'll have to get Charlie in to explain all this.
Yeah.
But I think at the end there's like that open competition.
Right.
With like the last 10 races, the top so many in the East and top so many in the West can join. I thought that was how that went.
Yeah, I know that
NASCAR
there was
just makes things freaking confusing.
complicated when it doesn't have to be.
Oh, there is one other thing I wanted to mention. Anton Hernandez, our guest, not last week, but the last show we did, he's teamed up with car owner Ken Baldwin to run the full 2020 AMSOIL USAC National Sprint Car Series and go after Rookie of the Year honors.
Ooh.
So
That's a
for
big
him.
deal.
Yeah. So congratulations to him and good luck on that endeavor. So it's up to how many? And last time we did how many was how many kids were going to come to my house dressed as Spider-Man, because I read an article in USA Today that said Spider-Man was this year's most popular costume. And so how many kids came to my door dressed as Spider-Man this year on Halloween night?
2.
0.
0?
I had no Spider-Mans.
Really?
No. Like I said, I had 6 kids total.
Yeah, well, that's pretty sad.
I got a lot of extra candy if anybody needs any candy.
I can't believe you didn't bring any in.
Yeah.
We could have...
I won't tell you, but it was left over from last year's Halloween too. So. But I'll bring it in if you want me to.
I'm easy. Candy doesn't go bad. It's just sugar.
So last week's winner in the studio was me because I guessed 9 and I was closest. You guys actually guessed double digits. Crazy people. Our online winner was John Young, who said 0, even though he later said, he made a comment later on that said that his 0 guess was for the bonus entry of how many trick-or-treaters were going to be at your house.
Oh.
But he put the 0 in before we started talking about that.
Oh, okay.
So I'm giving him the win of the Big D's Pizza.
So Dumb Luck wins again?
From Dean Henry, yeah. So if he can get with Dean and win his pizza there. And I think I've been saying that Big D's is in Fremont, but I think that one closed that we found out.
Oh.
It's in Clyde. Correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Henry. I think they're in Clyde because Gene Steele, who had us at the VARC banquet a couple weeks ago. Thank you for that. It was a pretty cool deal.
Yeah, good deal. Good meal.
Tried to get some pizza there and figured out it's in Clyde. So, all good. So, there you go. So, this week's How Many was how many times was the name Shawn Valenti said in this show?
Scott, that's going to require you to go
I know,
back
I'm going to have to
listen.
and pay attention, too.
Can we draw the line right now? So
we'll say no, the whole show in total because...
Okay, so if I say Shawn Valenti, that's
you're
3?
Pumping it up, yeah. So if people put in their guess now and we say Shawn Valenti again, then there's another one. So if you want to play along online and possibly win that Big D's pizza from, the Big D's pizza from Big D's, imagine that.
What a coincidence.
Go ahead and put your...
You can't get a Big D's pizza from, say,
Pizza
Papa
Hut?
John's?
Yeah. Go ahead and put your guess in how many times we said Shawn Valenti. And obviously you can't go back and listen right now because we're still live. But after we're live, unless you're listening to us now, and now is not a live time, and it's a replay.
Ooh, Scott.
Okay. It's like I'm having a Back to the Future moment there. But yeah, bottom line is how many times we say Shawn Valenti before the very end credits roll in this episode. That's the how many. And I haven't been keeping track myself.
I'll bet you haven't.
But if you want to play along online, go ahead and put your guess in the Facebook Live comments, and you'll be entered in.
Well,
John
Shawn Valenti, how many times do you think Shawn Valenti has been mentioned?
There you go.
I'll say 22.
That's a lot of Shawn Valenti.
Yeah.
What do you got, Kathy?
18.
18, okay.
24.
I'm going to go 25 because I'm going to say Shawn Valenti, Shawn Valenti, Shawn Valenti, Shawn Valenti, Shawn Valenti, Shawn Valenti, Shawn Valenti. And Shawn Valenti.
You suck, Hammer.
Yeah. You can't take him away. Now you're not going to say his name, are you? That guy played the strategy there for the Shawn Valenti. So again, if you want to play along, put those comments in our Facebook Live post on Facebook. That's where Facebook Live would be. And if somebody guesses the same number, whoever guessed it first will be awarded the winning number there of Shawn Valenti's.
I'm thinking 38 Shawn Valenti's.
Yeah, I got boxed in. I'm good.
So. Darn lap cars.
Yeah.
Upcoming races. Actually, there is an upcoming race.
At Montpelier?
Besides that one.
Oh, really?
Yeah. This was on the Sandusky Speedway page already. The 45th annual Wild Bill Hart Hangover Race. Because it's not the Ron Miller.
I'm going to have to try that one
yet.
of these days.
Yeah. That's going to be coming up on New Year's Day, January 1st, featuring the same old deal. Champagne stocks, moonshine stocks, whiskey stocks. Pits open at 9, main gate at 11, racing at 1 p.m., general admission, $12 for that, and New Year's Day. Good stuff. Yeah, this is the next race on pavement in our area. Right?
I believe
that's
that.
outdoors,
yeah.
And that's raced in any kind of weather.
You know, we've had a couple of good years in a row. I'm really worried about this year.
It's going to be a blizzard, probably because I plan to race myself. So, that's it for this show, pretty much, I think. Thanks to Dave Kemmer for helping out, and also saying that he's not going to be doing the car show. Neither him nor Deb or Scott are doing the car show, are doing a car show.
I had heard rumors that Dave was going to go alone on it, and I was going to volunteer to help if Dave did it, but apparently Dave's not doing it.
We're not. How many is not how many times we say Dave, but
I just wanted Dave to know that I was talking about him.
Well, there's still time to organize it.
Oh, absolutely.
Dave. Reminds me of that commercial.
Which one?
I can't remember what it's even for, which probably means it's bad advertising, but it was one for Dave. If your name is Dave, don't get offended. We're just using Dave as a...
No, okay.
Yeah.
Very good.
So next week on the show, we're going to have the Oakshade Raceway champions, Devin Shields, Jerry Signer, Terry Rushlow, Corey Gumm. And then 2 weeks from tonight will be the Toledo Speedway champion show with Mike Young, Greg Stillwell Jr., and Matt Ringer. I think...
Figure 8?
Yeah, you were talking... that's Flat Rock.
Okay.
We'll have Flat Rock's coming up. We'll be doing that one too.
Okay.
I separate. I know Toledo and Flat Rock tend to combine things.
Well,
I'm separating. I'm pulling them apart.
The Figure 8 cars were at Toledo.
They were,
so
but I
didn't know if
I don't think they had a championship points deal at Toledo though.
I was so pleased with Greg Stillwell. He had a great year, so
okay.
Good to see that he did it.
So we'll be talking to that's 2 weeks from tonight. Again, next week is Oakshade. Good use of the cough button. Excellent.
Yeah. You found it.
Yeah.
Oh, they did announce, and I forgot to mention this, and because I don't care anymore, I've lost interest. We did not get nominated.
I saw that.
We were
yeah,
not.
But
we did not make the cut.
I didn't see anybody that was on last year's. I wonder.
Eric Chase was.
Oh, okay.
Him, and I think that was the girl one. The girls.
All right, I looked for them and didn't see it, but okay.
I thought they were. I could be wrong. I didn't really. I saw we weren't on there. I was like, done with that. Don't care about that anymore.
I thought I was wrong once, but I was wrong. And then Shawn Valenti corrected me.
Shawn Valenti? You mean this guy right here?
Hammer, we got to go, buddy.
Shawn, thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. And congratulations again on the track championship and the nice, pretty respectable in the 305, too.
Great season. Yeah. Great season.
And you're going to try and possibly do the 305 championship next year? Beat Mr. Ivy if he doesn't go to 410s?
I'm hoping he moves up and runs for it. No.
Opens the door for you?
Well, yeah, hopefully we can. Yeah.
Okay. Well, whoa. It was louder than I thought it'd be. Well, good luck on all your endeavors next year, racing everything, including the minivan race, which we're going to try and get scheduled.
Oh, man.
I don't know where we're getting the minivans from. Maybe Big D's will sponsor that.
A couple of their pizza delivery vans.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah. All right. So next week, again, Oakshade Championship, or Oakshade Raceway Champions. Show starts at 7 o'clock. Listen to us live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter. And you can also listen to us on demand anytime. iHeartRadio, Google, iTunes, wherever. Stitcher, Spotify, we're on them all.
Listen to us on iHeart.
Yeah, that's the best choice.
Yep.
We appreciate it because that's where we don't make any money, but iHeart makes money off of us. And we use their studio, and we're using their electricity and their phone, so they got to pay the bill somehow. So support us. We appreciate it.
Yes.
All right, we'll see you next week.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
You have been listening to the Hammer Down Racing Report from the Ron Miller Race Car Studio. Listen on demand on iHeartRadio